everybody to my first ever YouTube live. It's the 11th of January 2022 and I've finally bitten the bullet and decided to move my Facebook lives, or as well as Facebook lives, do a YouTube live. So I'm just working out how to find it so I can follow comments along, if that's even a thing on here, I'm not sure. So I've been doing Facebook lives for about a year and a half now, and I can hear myself back, which is always nice. So we'll see what happens. Apologies if I don't keep up with any comments, but I'll do my absolute best to keep up. So what I will do is just give myself a little brief introduction. So my name is Stacey Marsh. I'm an independent demonstrator for Stampin' Up here in the UK. A very warm welcome to you wherever you are in the world. And I've been running my business for a little over 7 years, very much ad hoc, but the last 2 years through COVID I stepped it up, and it's more of an online business, and business is going really, really well, which is lovely. So I wanted to share with you today a tutorial for a card design that I've made. I'm being bombarded with questions. How did you make that? How did you make that? So I'm going to share that with you. If you have any comments or questions, please pop them in. I'll try and keep up, but like I said at the beginning, it's my first ever YouTube live demo. We'll see what happens. Hopefully it works, but if it doesn't, we'll put it in the learning bank and see what we can do. So I hope you're sitting comfortably, and I hope you enjoy. Feel free to share this, feel free to comment, feel free to subscribe, and yeah, just enjoy. So I'm going to move my camera around. I'm hoping this will work. We'll find out shortly, and we'll go from there. Okay, great. So you should be able to see my desk. Julie, you've joined me. Thank you, my lovely. It's great to have you here with us. So I'm just going to move my camera in a little bit. So this is the card that I have made. I made this at the weekend and I've shared it on social media. If you follow me on Instagram and Facebook, you'd have seen it. I shared it earlier this week and I'm being asked by lots of different people how I made it. So I'm going to share with you today how I've done that. The football itself has been made using a circle die and these lovely, they are beautiful shapes dies. Brand new in the January to June mini catalogue, and they're just fab. You get a selection of hexagons and some circles and some other little shapes that are really quite fun to play with. We used to have hexagon punch many years ago. It's now retired, so I was very excited to see this little die come back, this little shape come back as a die. And what's even more fabulous is this die here is what I've cut the hexagons from. So you get 2 for the price of 1 when you're cutting, okay? And then I've created the scene with some more dies and then added a little sentiment. So to show you how we're going to put that together, I'm going to start with the football, okay? So the football is right here. And I've cut a large circle from the layering circle dies. Another really handy set. If you don't have them, I would thoroughly recommend them, adding to your library of products, of craft supplies. And then I have gone ahead and I have pre-cut lots of little hexagons, more in white than in the black, and we're going to create our little football. So I'm going to start with, where's my glue? Glue. That would help, wouldn't it? Oh, hi Caroline, hi Alison, nice to have you here. So I'm going to start by adding one of my black hexagons first. When I first created this, I ended up with almost like a flower design in the middle, which wasn't really what I was aiming for. So I'm going to start by adding the black hexagon. I'm going to pop that roughly there. Now I tried this in 2 ways. I don't have the original one I made actually. I tried it in 2 ways. First of all, I left a little gap between each hexagon, but then when I tried it and jutted them up against each other, it just came out a little bit better. So then all it is a matter of just layering your hexagons on and making sure that they sit next to one another. So this is a traditional style football, I guess, or soccer ball, wherever you are in the world. And as my mum clearly pointed out to me the other day, she went, well, when you watch football now, you don't tend to see black and white footballs. You're there yellow and orange and all sorts of colours, but we're going to ignore that. And we're going to create our traditional black and white football. So I'm just going to work my way round and just adding my hexagon. So it takes a little bit of time and a little bit of patience. But you get a really good finished effect. Okay. Some of them will go on whole and some of them you'll need to cut down, but I'll show you how to do that. That one's just moved slightly, it's just tucked under, I think. Doesn't really matter if you damage the piece underneath because no one's going to see that. Oh, me too, Julie. I made a similar style card. I didn't make an actual football, but I made a sort of card that resembled a football. So I was really chuffed to see them back as well. So I'm going to snip this black one off. You're just following the line of your circle. Okay, so up here I just need a little bit. So try and use the excess pieces where you can. This is not really a wasteful card, which is always a nice thing. I may need to cut some more. So I will be making these YouTube demonstrations a weekly event, which is very exciting. It's nice to do something a bit different. So far it seems to be working. Okay. I wonder if that bit's going to be too small. No, that's just the right size, that piece. It's almost like you're doing a jigsaw puzzle. Okay. Now what you can do, if you'd rather, if you're not very good at following the edge of the circle, which is fine, what you could do is grab a piece of card that is a bit bigger than the circle, lay all your hexagons on in the same pattern that I'm doing here, and then use your die to cut it out afterwards. Your circle die to just cut out your pieces afterwards. And in some ways that might work better. This is how I've created it. Okay, so what we need to do is we need to leave that to dry, otherwise some of our pieces may move and we don't want that. So I'm going to put that to one side over there and I'll show you the basis of this card. So I've gone with a white card base and I've used a tent-fold style card. We'll give that a good crease so that it stands like a tent. And then I've got a piece here of pool party cardstock that I've cut down, so it's just a little bit smaller than our card front. I think the measurement I've used is 10 centimetres by 14.4. And we're going to stick that on. Like so. And then I have my little grass on the background. So this is the Peach Designer Series paper and I wanted something with a bit of pattern on it. And I have cut the edge of that. You could cut it with your scissors easily, but I've used one of the edge dies. This is from the Inspiring Canopy suite. Basically, you pop it on your piece of card, wheel it through your cutter, and then you get that nice angled edge. So let's stick that bit on. Nicely. And then I've cut some clouds. Now these clouds have been die cut from the Give It a Whirl die set that's in the annual catalogue. And what I like about these clouds is they've got a little bit of stitching around the edge. So it just gives you a little bit more detail. And I'm going to attach those just in the background to create my lovely looking summer or spring day. You can use your die, so we'll bring the circle die in because we haven't finished our football yet. If you bring your die in, you can work out roughly where your football is going to go. So I want mine to be about there. So we'll see a little bit of this cloud. So we'll just tuck that in behind. And then this one can go down here. Okay. So your dies aren't just for cutting out. You can use them as a guide where to put things. So that's quite nice. Our football will sit there and we'll see some of those clouds. Okay, so this should be quite dry. Yeah, none of those pieces are moving. So I'm going to take my scissors, I've turned it over, and I'm going to follow the line of that circle and cut off all those excess pieces that we've stuck down that are overhanging. Need to give your scissors a little clean afterwards because sometimes they can get a bit tacky from the glue. That's fine, you can just run them under some warm soapy water and they'll come up lovely. Okay, so there we have our football. Doesn't that look fab? I really like it, our little football. So we can now go ahead and stick that down. I'm going to stick it down with some foam pads just to raise it ever so slightly. Okay. I'm going to put 3 on there. I'm quite frugal with my foam pads. They are my most used and favourite craft tool. We've all got them, haven't we? So that's going to sit about there. So it's coming together quite nicely. Now for the letters, I have got here, these have been cut out with the playful alphabet dies. I'm just going to have a bit clear down. Do like a tidy desk. Right, so I have cut them out of real red card. So I've got the letters for happy. But when you put them on the card, they feel quite flat. So what I've also done is I've cut some out from the adhesive, the foam sheets, which are like just a big Stampin' dimensional. So carefully peel off your dies. You want to try and leave on, if you can, the backgrounds. Sorry, the backing pieces. Really, I haven't managed to do there. So pop out the centres of any letters. It's easier to do this before you start sticking them on. Okay, and then you're going to work out roughly where to put your letters by just laying them down. Okay. You might want to use tweezers for this. So you're going to pop your lovely letters on. And to make sure you get them straight, if you want to, just take a ruler or a straight edge and just pop that on so that it's straight. Okay, so we've got H, we'll have A next. And P. Some people like to add their letters, the cardstock covering to their letters first. Other people do it like this. There's no right or wrong. It's entirely how you prefer to do it. This is just my little way. H-A-P-P-Y. These letters are great for using with your children as well. So my girls, I've got two girls, Florence and Emily. Florence is older and Emily is the youngest. They love playing with these letters, especially Emily. Now she's learning to read, she's in reception. She's really enjoying sort of just making up her own words, and they really help with spellings as well because they're quite interactive. My kids are quite hands-on children. They like to touch and feel things, so for them this really does help with their learning. So crafting isn't just about making pretty things, they can be educational. So I am now just laying my letters over the top. Okay. And we're getting that lovely happy word come to life. Stuck that one on the wrong way around. So there we have happy. Okay, so that looks quite nice. And then the last bit that we need to do is our birthday sign. Now I wanted a really just straightforward, plain birthday sign. So I have used, I'm just going to bring in a piece of scrap. I've been doing some filming before this, so you might recognise this. I am going to be using the Handsomely Sweeted stamp set because I love this birthday word. So I don't want a happy and to you. It's already out. Of course it is because I used it the other day. So we're using a happy birthday to you, but we just want that birthday. So grab your ink pad. I'm stamping with black memento. Give that a good stamp. It doesn't matter if it's wonky, which it very much is. And we're going to cut the word birthday into a banner. Going to angle this slightly like so, and then birthday is just going to get stuck on the bottom like so. Now for inside the card, all I'm going to do is add another piece of white card just to strengthen it. There's quite a lot of weight on the front of that card, so I will just add another strip of basic white. It will be the same size as the front piece, which is 10 by 14.4 centimetres, and it will just add a little bit of strength there and will make that feel like a really lovely finished handmade card. So that's it from me. Thank you so much to everyone who has tuned in. It's been great to spend a little bit of Tuesday with you all. If you have any questions about the products I've used, please do get in touch. All of the products I've used are available to purchase from my online store now. You can find that at www.staceymarsh.co.uk. Don't forget you've got the Fab Host code to add, which will give you a free gift from me next month. We've also got the celebration promotion running at the moment where you can choose a free item with a £45 spend, or you can add it to a starter kit and get even more for your money. The current deal is £130 worth of product for £99, and then you get to choose 2 free stamp sets from any of the catalogues to add into that for free. So that's it, guys. I am going to go off now and grab me some lunch. Thanks so much for joining me, and I will look forward to joining you all again next Tuesday afternoon. Bye for now. This is interesting, guys. How do I finish this? Julie, if you're on, how do I finish this video? Stop streaming. Yes, please.